24 to 25, chapter 24 and 25. And I just have a quick tip before we get into that. So my biggest tip for today is set boundaries. Set boundaries. How many of us have ever experienced this where you're so determined to change something in your life? You've come to a place where you're like, you know what? I want to make this change. I want to make this move. I want to do this thing. I want to set this goal for myself. But the moment that you make that decision, the moment that you start making that change in your life, it just looks like everything else is working against you. Like that's, for example, maybe you said, you know what, something, that's when that phone call comes in. Knockout is when, or maybe that time someone, rings the bell and that just, so set boundaries. So in terms of setting boundaries with distractions, that's easy, right? If it's your phone, put it on focus. That way you don't have to be distracted, or you can turn off. But in terms of setting boundaries with people that show up at your house, you have to take a step to let them know that, look, I have set out this for Z, and I would love for, you not to come in, or however you want to communicate that. So that way, that time stays that way. Now, in terms of you being tired at the time locked out, it's still about setting boundaries, because you have to see it this way, where you have to set boundaries for your energy too, as well, like your strength. So you have something very important to do in the day, and someone asks you for something else that's going to require a lot of energy and strength and attention from you, that when it's time for you to do that thing that is important to you, be drained, you should be able to say no. So you see where I'm going? So really, when it comes to staying consistent and all of that, it's just important to set boundaries. And what you're setting boundaries for is like you're building a fence around something that is important to you, so that, strays don't get in. That's how it is. So you know where you need to mend the fence. You know where you need to build a stronger fence. You know it. So there you go. So let's get into chapter 24 and 25. And God, sorry, my phone just went in a weird way. Okay, I'm back. Okay, and God said to Moses, come up, you and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of Israel's elders, and worship at a distance. Alone shall come near the Lord. The others, shall not come near, and neither shall the people come up with him. Moses came and told the people all that the Lord had said, and all the ordinances, and all the people answered with one voice, all that the Lord has spoken, we will do. Moses wrote all the words of the Lord. He rose up early in the morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain, and set up 12 pillars representing Israel's 12 tribes. And he sent young Israelite men who offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen to the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he dashed against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read in the hearing of the people. And they said, all that the Lord has said, we will do, and we will be obedient. And Moses took the remaining half of the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, behold, the blood of covenant which the Lord has made with you in accordance with all these words. Then Moses, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel went up the mountainside, and they saw the God of Israel, that is a convincing manifestation of his presence. And under his feet was like pavement of bright sapphire stone, like the very heavens in clearness. And upon the nobles of the Israelites he laid not his hand to conceal himself from them, to rebuke their daring or to harm them. But they saw the manifestation of the presence of God, and ate and drank. And the Lord said to Moses, come up to me into the mountain, and be there, and I will give you tables of stone with law and the commandments which I've written, that you may teach them. So Moses rose up with Joshua, his attendant, and Moses went up into the mountain of God. And he said to the elders, tarry here for us until we come back to you. Remember, Aaron and Hur are with you Whoever has a cause, let him go to them. Then Moses went up into the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of the Lord rested on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. On the seventh day, God called to Moses out of the midst of the cloud, and the glory of the Lord appeared to the Israelites like devouring fire on the top of the mountain. Moses entered into the midst of the cloud and went up the mountain, and Moses was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. And the Lord said to Moses, speak to the Israelites that they take for me an offering. From every man who gives it willingly and ungrudgingly with his heart, you shall take my offering. This is the offering you shall receive from them: gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet, stuff and with fine twined linen and goat's hair, ram's skin tanned red, goat skin, dolphin or porpoise skin, assai wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and for sweet incense. Verse 7. Stones and stones for setting in the ephod and in the breastplate. Let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. And you shall make it according to all that I show you, the pattern of the tabernacle or dwelling, and the pattern of all the furniture of it. They shall make an ark of assai wood, 2.5 cubits long, a cubit and a half wide, and a cubit and a half wide high. You shall overlay the ark with pure gold inside and out, and make a gold crown, a rim or border around its top. You shall cast 4 gold rings, attach them to the 4 lower corners of it, 2 rings on each side. You shall make poles of assai wood and overlay them with gold, and put the poles round through the rings on the ark side by which to carry it. The poles shall remain in the rings of the ark, and they shall not be removed from it, that the ark be not touched. And you shall put inside the ark the testimony, the 10 commandments, which I give you. And you shall make a mercy seat, a covering of pure gold, 2 cubits and a half long, and a cubit and a half wide. And you shall make 2 cherubims of solid armored gold on the 2 ends of the mercy seat. Make 1 cherubim on each end, making the cherubim of 1 piece with the mercy seat on the 2 ends of it. And the cherubim shall spread out their wings above, covering the mercy seat with their wings, facing each other and looking down towards the mercy seat. You shall put the mercy seat on top of the ark, and in the ark you shall put the testimony, the 10 commandments that I give you. There I will meet with you, and from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim that are upon the ark of the testimony, I will speak intimately with you, of all which I will give you in commandment to the Israelites. Also make a table of assai wood, 2 cubits long, 1 cubit wide, and a cubit and a half high. You shall overlay it with pure gold, and make a crown, a rim or molding of gold around the top of it, and make a frame of a handbreadth around and below the top of it, and put around it a gold molding as a border. You shall make for it 4 rings of gold, and fasten them at the 4 corners that are on the table's 4 legs. Close against the frame shall the rings be as places for the poles to pass to carry the table. You shall make the poles of assai wood and overlay them with gold, that the table may be carried with them. And you shall make it plates for the showbread and the cups, for incense and its flagons and bowls, for liquids and sacrifice, made them of pure gold. And you shall set the showbread on the table before me always. You shall make a lampstand of pure gold, of beaten and turned work shall be lampstand be made. Both its base and its shaft, its cups, its knobs, and its flowers shall be of 1 piece with it. 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it, 3 branches of the lampstand out of the one side, and 3 branches out of its other side. 3 cups made like almond blossoms, each with a knob and a flower on one branch. 3 cups made like almond blossoms on the other branch with a knob and a flower. So for the 6 branches coming out of the lampstand, and on the center shaft itself you shall make 4 cups like almond blossoms with their knobs and their flowers. Also make a knob on the shaft under each pair of the 6 branches going out from the lampstand, and 1 piece with it. Their knobs and their branches shall be of 1 piece with it, and the whole of it 1 beaten work of pure gold. And you shall make the lamps of the lampstand to include a 7th one at the top of the shaft. The priest shall set up the 7 lamps of it, so they may give light in front of it. Its snuffers and its ashtrays shall be of pure gold. Use a talent of pure gold for it, including all these utensils, and see to it that you copy exactly their pattern, which was shown you on the mountain. I am loving this very, very descriptive and step-by-step instruction on what to do. And Moses is listening, and he's, getting the designs for the mercy seats, the cherubims, the even up to the bread, the way it's going to be placed, the table in which the ark is going to be upon, where the 10 commandments should be. I love that the 10th commandment is called testimony, because it's an instruction, but it's instruction that guides our deliverance. You know what I mean? So I love that. And for me, I'm reading this and I'm like, this is a very detailed God. And anytime you want to do something in your life and you're thinking, how do I do this? What do I do? You can actually go to God and He can give you step-by-step instructions. I have experienced that in my life. Like even this videos that I'm doing right now, He gave me step-by-step instructions. I wanted to make some tweaks. He said, no, do it this way, step by step. So He's willing to teach you what to do. I think it's just left for us to go to Him so He can actually teach us, because He's interested in the details. He's interested. So don't just think, oh, God gave me instructions, let me just run off and go do it. You can actually stop and say, God, show me what to do step by step, because I know you've done this before. I've seen this with this. I've seen it with the ark, with the Noah's Ark as well. So I know you will help me with this. And God will help you as you continue to seek Him in Jesus' name. So the big lesson for today is always see God as that person that is willing, as a God. Sorry, no, He's not a person. Always see God as a God that is willing to give you step-by-step instructions on what you need to do. And I think another big lesson too would be like, okay, it would be like, it's just amazing how God sets His glory, and in His glory, He's also protecting us to make sure that we don't get hurt. And that's what He did with the children of Israel. It's like, don't let them touch the mountain. Don't let them do this. He doesn't want to make a lesson out of us. And we see that happening. Sometimes people tell you, oh, He just wants to make a lesson. He doesn't want to make a lesson out of you. He wants to protect you. He wants to guide you. He wants to be your Father, a loving Father, a Father like you've never experienced before. So that's it. I'll see you around.